And we are live. Oh yeah. Always nice to be live. Okay, let me see. I need to check my own stream just to be sure everything is okay. Is that a gap? That looks like a gap to me. Oops. Let me see, I might need to tweak this for a second. Yeah, need to move this a little. Where is my... well, I guess that's fine. Alright. Anyway, hi guys. Tasso here. And today we are playing this little game called A Mortician's Tale. So this was like one of the many games that came from the itch charity bundle for racial justice and equality that came out like about a month or so back, I believe. Was it a month? About 2 months back, I think. Around June, May, June, around there. But yeah, so this is like one of the games. It's very highly rated. I think it's probably one of the more it's like one of the most popular ones out of the bundle, I think. And you know, it'd be cool to just play some of this game. But definitely want God, words today. Like I want to go through the bundle and play the games in there, cause you know, what's the point of buying it if you don't play it, right? So yeah. So I don't know much about this. I just know it's about like the funeral industry, specifically the western side of the funeral industry. So it isn't interesting to look into this kind of things, which you know I feel is always cool. It's always cool to have like what these games can do to explore these avenues that like most like household names, you know, AAA titles don't really get into that much. So anyway, without further ado, let's start. September 14, 10:15 a.m. Oh, okay. I go to my desk, I suppose. Hello and welcome our new funeral director, from Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name is Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy's a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Matthew J. Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. From Amy Rose to Rose and Daughters staff. Hello everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie as she likes to be referred to. Hi, boy. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We will have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder and director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Hello Charlie, well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office/preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with this station, but please let me know if you have any questions. Oh god, there's so much to read. Time to read. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, My museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for Funerals monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift / I love you / I'm super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Aww. I'm getting you ready to be waifu to the union. Yeah. Private auto response. Oh boy. Okay. Hello, Charlie. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Miss Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Miss Garcia, I do think it's important to take time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Miss Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon. Oh god. Dear Amy, we are happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated, and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthy, it would be a shame to have her final moments to be counter to the way she lived. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in this matter. Dear Mia, of course we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. Alright, more reading. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at the funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. Number 1, don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is the time and place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. 2, don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Number 3, don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful when with the grieving family and friends. Happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the disease can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the disease and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes it can be even just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. Ooh, there we go. Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family's business for the last 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this hard time. Here at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home, we are committed to providing a loved one with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. We offer a diverse range of personalized funeral service options to fit every need. Burial with open casket ceremony and reception, $5,985. Burial with closed casket ceremony and reception, $4,275. Cremation with ceremony and reception, $1,700. Direct burial with no ceremony or reception, 1905, all inclusive. Direct cremation with no ceremony or reception, 600. Ooh. It's a new subscriber. Oh shit, I forgot that. I need to move that. Ah, nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope. I need to lock you. Oops, nope. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, new friend. Ah, I need to fix that. Sissy Sheets, thank you for subscribing. Okay, let me move. Nope, that's not what I want. Alert box. I really need to lock all this. Oh, because I locked this one. There we go. Let's expand that a little bit as well. Let's test this so that's okay. Yeah, there we go. Now everyone can see it. As I was toying around with the layout stuff and I forgot to move that. Hey, welcome new sub. Hope you enjoy this. We also offer custom packages to suit every budget and need. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions. Amy@roseanddaughters.com. Sure thing, I'll get right to it. So we need to clean the body. This is the prep room where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag over the body to clean it. That's it, you're done. Miss Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of the dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it is also important to pay your respect to their loved ones. Follow the arrowhead to the funeral parlor. Alright. I guess it will be a lot of reading on my end. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them. I guess. That's... yeah, I guess. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that is known to cause cancer and putting it to the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what they do with the leftover from formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go? I hate wearing pantyhose, my legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things, at least that's what I was always taught. Pay my respects. Did they say anything new? October 11, 10:09 AM. Alright, let's go. More reading. From Funerals Monthly. What to wear when you're attending a funeral for a different culture. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire where people wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, some wrong choice could mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals, which is true. For Islam though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful for your behavior. For Sikh funerals, the color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you are attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you. So be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. Oh boy, this is just gonna be a lot of reading. Story about death. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But, so, the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we were in the procession of going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know how to not get in the way of a procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing, just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to the story, I guess. I just remembered the story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Oh, before I get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and it's nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Hi Amy, please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in, getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together. It meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Just passing this message along. Thanks for the hard work, Charlie. I am so frustrated right now. Alright, so can I rant for a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, to get on my nerves, get on my kids for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse. So it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And I hate how their oh god, I can't pronounce this word, misogyny gets veiled in Fox concerns. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condensation is hurting my head. Sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. Alright. So let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the light lasers liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on a corset. I need to. Oops, let me. Oh, okay, no. Okay, on a corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with porosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant. So, TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research and yet am treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Next job. Hi Charlie, here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter Lizzie Duval if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. Anyways, as always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Alright, let's get right on it. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Take the sponge. Click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. Man, this is weird. In order to break rigor mortis, you have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag on the eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. To keep the eye shut, you need to glue them. Click and drag the glue into each eye to shut it. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. Embalming involves removing the blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. You're going to need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it to the neck incision. Click on the cannula and drag it onto the carotid artery. This is how you get the preserving chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Click on the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you have to massage them through the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. I don't know why I'm just getting a lot of chills just playing this. Just, I guess, a feeling of like surrealness, I guess. Great, now let's seal up that incision. Click and drag the needle and thread over the incision to close it. Almost done. You need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar, then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. And you're done. Mike would take care of Mr. Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. I don't know if there's anything that appears, I don't think so. I'll get right on it. Alright. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about that for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it. So weird, how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Kid playing the game, humming to himself. Alright, pay our respects. December 2, 10:22 AM. December 2nd. That's cremation time. LGBTQ funeral respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families, have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraud directive. either male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation obviously enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it, so a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect, can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survived the disease. So, what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, if a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Paycheck coming late. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Will it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I said this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? I'm going to take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Minute cutes for death positive cuties. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know, you hate it when I try to give you dating advice. But hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the deaf industry. So maybe I'm a little worried for you, but you haven't mentioned anybody since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea? More like dating site. Right? Just promise me you consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom ran over. I'm gonna try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know you were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you, let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Date Meet, isn't that the best name for a deaf industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet though. Hi Amy, thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Thank you. Passing on this lovely thank you note. Cremation. Hello Charlie, today's funeral is just for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Alright. Is there anything else here? No. Okay, I'm on it. More like deaf thing site, yeah. Deaf meeting site. Did they call it a deaf meet? Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It is important to remove this before the cremation process as to not damage them. Let's start by removing Miss Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace back to the purple tray. We'll place the necklace in the urn with Miss Hall remains later. We need to be able to identify Miss Hall remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it in the coffin. Great, Miss Hall is all set to be cremated now. I've only experienced like one cremation. I've experienced like one burial and one cremation. I mean, and neither of those were easy. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash as much as bone fragments. Yeah, I remember that. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Click on the urn and drag it in the cremulator under the nozzle. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. So like the cremation I went to, it was like I guess they cremulated most of the bones, but like they left you like large some pieces, some like big pieces that like the family can choose and put in the urn. So that all the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back to the counter. Make sure to put Mrs. Hall's necklace back into the urn, click on the necklace and drag it to the urn. Don't forget the tag, click on the round identification tag and drag it to the urn. Last step, click on the urn's lid and drag it to the top of the urn. All done, Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. This is nice, in a weird way. She liked that we're all here together, talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food's delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Yeah. Oh, really? She does Mortician stuff? Yeah. It's definitely an interesting look into like the industry, because not really something to think about too much, unless you're already part of it, I think. Glad she was cremated and not like open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up. Not once. Pay her respects. Alright, back we go. February 14, 10:14 AM. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You live your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death, at least? That's the thinking of a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly is that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, and maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore/preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we are gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. A challenger approaches. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Like, get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kinda looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? Tales of the Crypt Keeper reference? Probably. High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a reference. Oh. Hi Amy, I know this email might be a bit odd, but you say if I was ever having trouble, I should reach out and you would know somebody I could talk to about all this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother has lived a full good life and was very happy and that she's not in pain now, but I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough, with the work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you. I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help them. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect them, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Hi Amy, I am so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was such a beautiful service and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, Margareta. Charlie, I thought you'd like to see this. Thank you, note. Oh no. News about hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful, Google said. Truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought. Or sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They are keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that is a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact, somewhat. They have a good reputation, and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell, as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a much more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I admittedly didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Oh, yeah, that sucks. Like, especially with my own stuff, like having lost my own job because of current events. Like, hearing about this kind of things really hits harder. Hi Amy, you asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks. Hi Charlie, please see the note about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Oh, hey, Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. It is like Minesweeper. Oh no, I got it. Oops. Let's play Minesweeper. Man, this is hard now. Pretty sure these are ghosts. It's easy to mark out the ghosts. No. Ah, wow, that was fast. Wow, the moment when you just one click to hit the ghost. I wonder if there's like a way for me to... Nope. If I can win. Are you winning, son? I'm good at finding the ghosts. I am not good at actually winning at Minecraft. Minesweeper, Minecraft. Okay, that's enough Minecraft for today. Minecraft, I guess in Minecraft, Minesweeper. Oh shit, I should have responded. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes is a pacemaker that we will need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing Mr. Reyes' pacemaker. Click and drag the scalpel over the heart to make an incision. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to click and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. Put the forceps away, then place a round identification tag in the coffin. Mr. Reyes is all set to be cremated now. Using the cremulator, we break those bone fragments down, place the urn, put the bones. Bone, let me put you. Oh, there we go. Put the urn back on the counter. tag, lid. Yes, we'll take funeral parlor. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Do you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. Don't we all have people like that in our lives? What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course, he never listened to me. So that figures. I guess he was just kind of there, wasn't he, for this family. February 28, 10:35 a.m. Alright. Welcome. Thanks to avoid saying at the funeral. Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice, what not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice, specific words. Some things will be more comforting to other people, but fortunately we can deliver a bit more solid advice on what to not say to someone who is grieving. So here is Funerals Monthly Top 5 Things to Not Say at a Funeral. At least, number 1, at least they are no longer suffering. Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be that jerk and just don't say it. I mean, to be fair, I think I said that like to others before who have experienced loss. So that's something I guess I need to remember from here on out. Were they safe? No religious statements, just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is not always comforting, it can also be insulting. Number 3, they're with the angels now. See above notes, then rinse, repeat. This one is, let me know if I can help. This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest specific things. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them. Take them to their favorite restaurant, or buy tickets to see a movie together. Number 5, I know how you feel. Even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied to in any situation, don't say stuff for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say. Mushrooms. Alright. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker, look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it is a biodegradable suit that the disease wears. It's made of what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil and plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It will just be like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I say that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we are in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Hi Amy, I just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and I apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy. So I'll pass this along to you. Good day, Miss Rose. This regards our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Manuel Scott. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation yet. Anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you are uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we are hosting later in the afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? Let me know. I'm here if you need me. I was waiting for something like this to happen. Man, this sucks though. Like, it's the concept that even last wishes won't be fulfilled even after what happened. No, yes, I'm comfortable with this. It sucks that you can't do what the person wanted to do because the family wishes otherwise, but there's nothing you can say anymore because you're gone. You don't have anyone to speak up for you anymore. The deceased's family has asked for open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Shave the body. Break rigor mortis. Insert the eye caps. Glue the eyes. Cut the balls. Sew the jaw close. Moisturize the body. Incision in the neck, tubing, cannula, embalming machine. There we go. Turn on, massage. Man, I didn't expect to feel this emotional when playing this game. Sew the incision close. Use the trocar to drain the organs. Take care of the casket and everything. still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known, being able to do something to stop it. There was no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that. I know. It's just, it hurts. Yeah, I know. I wish we were closer. Wow. I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. I heard it wasn't going to be open casket. I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances. These circumstances are more private. Sorry, friend. I wish I could do what you wanted, but I guess. March 3rd, 10:45 a.m. Different funeral traditions. Funeral rites, even in our culture, may be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, they all know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media, and I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to provide different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with the death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In the Ox in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. It's the same here actually, I think after 50 years actually here. Cause like my grandfather's, my maternal grandfather's body actually got excavated. It's going to be excavated soon because they have to free up the space, and like a lot of the graves around my grandfather's grave has also been like exhumed, excavated out already. So like when we pay our respects there it's kind of a wow land by now. So yeah. Many families begin to cremate more often, but there are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black, called death beads. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyard and the expenses of cremation. And not all practices are somber. You either ever hear of the turning of the bones or Famadihana, a ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar. Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, assume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and a way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Death Cafe. You're invited to attend the Death Cafe. Come, increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." See everyone at the Upside Down Jar next Thursday. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection. And can you And you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it catalogued. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness that you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you are feeling. Lots of deaf positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. Can I say first off, this is bullcrap. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all your businesses for so long. This isn't 6 feet under, and they just swoop in and now you have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the crops I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. Oh, he's the funeral director now. If you're reading his Hillside Overlord, good. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take on of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Thank you. Charlotte. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you are done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Really? Hillside Heritage. Operated by Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. Rose and Daughters is the newest funeral home to join Hillside Heritage, proudly serving 56 different communities nationwide since 1964. Rose and Daughters features several available packages for burials and cremations, a spacious visitation suite for added comfort, and catering available on site. Rely on our dedicated and friendly staff to help you with your funeral needs. Whether you need our immediate assistance for a loved one, or would like to pre-plan your own final arrangements. We offer many packages to fit the suit every size and gathering and budget. Ask us about a selection of caskets, urns, and headstones, the largest in the country. Bronze funeral package, an intimate gathering and memorial for your loved ones, customized to fit your individual needs. Best suited for groups of 25 to 50. Silver funeral package, a small but special celebration for your loved ones. Best suited for groups 50 to 100. Gold funeral package, give your loved one the best with the best we have to offer. A large gathering to celebrate your loved one. Best suited for groups over 100. One asterisk, subject to additional fees and taxes. Double asterisk, payment plans available. Call us 24/7 for a quote. Man, this sucks. Like, you can see like the differences already. Like the more mom and pop ones, like, you know, they tell you the price straight up without any like extra speculations, hidden speculations and stuff like that. And this one's just like, we offer these packages. This. Alright, let's do it. Prepare Miss Ion Essos body for cremation. Remove a watch. Tag. Cremated. Now. Alright. Cremator. Place the urn. Back, watch, tag, lid. Matthew would take Mr. Ionesco's urn to the funeral pyre and present it alongside some flowers. Can we still? Okay. Should we do a visual at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm glad oh shit. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. I have to go through all of the things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No, thanks. But no, I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me without other sort of things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah, she was special. She was always so careful, wore a helmet, signal, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Lie. This has been hard enough on them, without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them, should they deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. I'm so glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. Thank you. March 24th, 10:30 a.m. Alright. Home funerals. Why do it? The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. But isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they are taken to be buried or cremated. But the idea of keeping the deceased's body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time and can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you are able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's bodies at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require funeral directors' involvement, from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. Just know that this is oh, I think there's a typo. Just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if you so choose. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. We are like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We, as a species, have seen the beginning of our end. boy. Hello, as stated in the previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. First and foremost, there's a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Oh my god. I.e. always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the high quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think about the comfort and style of a deceased is an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the diseases. Oh god, I can't pronounce this word now. Loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner catering concept provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted on the morning of the funeral. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition to the high quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. is known for. Oh my god, he truly is Chad. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? P.S. I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry. Ever. Green burial policy. Hello Charlotte, I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming casket and vaults instead. I trust you and you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte. Oh my god, this is like... Oh god. That's gross. That is gross. This is just like gross. Like... This really speaks a lot of how I mean, I don't know if this has changed since the release of this game, but like just the thought of like companies exploiting your emotional state to spend more money, that's just gross. Like I have like no other words. It's just gross and disgusting. Charlotte, I am proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. is being paid a decent wage from the city for those services, cremation is preferred here as the more cost-efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we'll be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. Alright. I mean, taking care of homeless people is fine though, I guess. That part I can be okay, but like, just the exploitation of emotional labor. Before I cremate this gentleman, we need to prepare his body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him that will be damaged during cremation, so let's just worry about putting his identification tag into the coffin with him. Wonder how it'll be like for someone who is nobody. I knew it. Literally nobody, eh? Man, there's like... This is like a somber feeling, like, I guess. Just really hits home how How it feels like, when nobody remembers you. April 9th, 10:19 a.m. Water everywhere, another drop off. Drop to drink. Water cremation. We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, a bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Or perhaps more commonly, resomation is a technical name though, and its technical name was actually alkaline hydrolysis. Whatever we want to call it, it's here. It's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation, but for the sake of this newsletter, we'll call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation and burials take a huge toll on the environment, the high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them. And water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up very high, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It basically works like a sped up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at the factory, and alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation process. Neat, huh? It's been around for a bit, and in some places became legal around the end of the first decades of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary. I kiss her. I'm dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes. So utterly delighted at the support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. He was slipping there, and I was getting you worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super deaf positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like that last dude I saw. Jason? Michael? Gah, I can't remember. Hello! Senpapi sama. So we're just playing this. Really? This is a game about death, about mourning, death, funerals, and I'm getting a bit more emotional than I expected to be, so, So, bear with me, I guess. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. There's also a lot of reading, so, bear with me with that as well. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, Memento Mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just click, feels good, fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the ride, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on the top of a Ferris wheel, be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. You think you're going to do it? You know you have my support 100%, no matter what you decide. Charlie, it's official. I put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. As my skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself. But I am worried about. You're too good for this corporate scrum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? I'll bring beers and over next weekend to talk a bit more freely. Latest contract acquisition. Hello all, we are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc.'s subsidiary, Rose and Daughters, just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We are excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which takes over 100,000 patients and receives over 15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. Bright and sustained future. And also basically we are learning that the big corporations for the funeral industry is basically scum. Charlotte, I see that you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. Oh my god. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. That is part of your job. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral myself and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden. We don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you, the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. Just... God, there's like not enough words for me to express how gross I feel reading this. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and families can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was. Beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. Register a business. Funeral services. Register your business. 11 permits. If you're interested in starting a funeral services business, you may need the following permits and licenses. Articles of Incorporation. The applicant must file Articles of Incorporation BCA Form 1 with Central Production and Verification Services Branch in order to incorporate. Number 2. Registration of a business name for a corporation. To register a business name for a corporation under the Business Names Act, the applicant must complete a BNA Form 2 to receive a Master Business License. Registration of a sole proprietorship/general partnership. The applicant must complete a BNA Form 1 with Central Production and Verification Services Branch to register a business name for a sole proprietorship/general partnership under the Business Names Act. Oh, sorry if my words are not clear. I think I'm slurring a lot because there's just so much to read. Sure thing, let's do it. Open casket. Rigor mortis. Eye caps. Glue the eyes. Cotton balls. Sew the jaw close. Moisturize. Sew the incision close. Throw a car. Drain the organs. Mike will take care of Mr. Dinka's makeup. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated this. Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons. Oh hey, what do you think of the trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show is good. I saw that video of that one kid actor doing karaoke. I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry? You're always hungry. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high. Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. Would be good to stretch my legs. You think we did the right thing? I feel bad not doing what mom asked for. I know, honey, but that chat guy what that chat guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot. Yeah, I just want mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before. Shh, it's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I'm going to miss her. Me too. August 30th, 9 AM. Oh! We are in our own business now. Charlie dear, I am so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor. You never believe what new job I'm working now. Open this email to find out. Hey Charlie, when I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering, it was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. And thankfully I concentrated on my driving skills since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, I might add. I actually love it. This kid's gonna be pretty cute, but don't tell Amy I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day and show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to it. Be seeing ya. Congratulations. Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase, but you stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain everything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and check out your new space. P.S. Have you heard about this green burial pot? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll show it over to you. Magnolia Forest, Funeral Home and Natural Burial Park. Magnolia Forest, named after the magnolia trees that surround the funeral home, specializes in at-home funerals and green burials in our natural burial park. Our goal is to empower families and encourage them to have a closer relationship with death and the dying process. The death of a loved one can be a confusing and sometimes traumatic time, and we want you to feel fully involved in your loved one's death care decisions. Whether you are looking to care for your loved one from the comfort of your home, be present during their cremation, or bury them in our natural cemetery, Magnolia Forest is here to work with you and provide these simple but intimate and meaningful options. Natural Burial Park. Our natural burial park allows the body to return to the earth and recycle naturally. It is intended as an environmentally sustainable alternative to existing funeral practices. Our park has room for bodies of all sizes and ages, as well as beloved pets. Families also have the option to bury their loved ones themselves if they so choose. Prices. We believe in being transparent about our prices and practices. We are happy to explain all of our prices and work within your budget and hope to make you feel comfortable and confident in your decisions. Let us know if we can answer any of your questions. Home funeral, 1,000, all inclusive. Green burial and services, 2,250 for adults, all inclusive. Direct cremation, 600, all inclusive. Infants are buried at no charge. We can provide a 3x3 plot and help opening and closing the grave. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and for your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. I'll see you soon. Oh, there's my desk. But then, this hurts. I thought it'd be easier, but it's not. It hurts so much, but thank you for helping give her the funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to get started now. Oh, that's the end. The Order of the Good Death and Kermit. Yes. Pets. Yes, and puppy. Oh, thanks. Made using Unity and Fmod. Made possible with support from the Ontario Arts Council. In memory of these people, thank you for playing. Well, filthy, we probably best not to. Oh well, it's okay. I accept hugs as long as they are good hugs. Yeah, I guess this is kind of a shorter stream for today, but that's how. Sometimes it's always like this, I guess. But yeah, I think like overall, this was definitely a game that I guess felt meaningful to play. Maybe especially during these times, or I don't know. But I don't know, it feels meaningful. Cause I mean, oh god, try not to. I'm like tearing up. But yeah, like I don't know. I've been to like three funerals. Yeah, I've been to 3 funerals thus far. Was it 3? Yeah, I think it was 3. Like one of them when I was really young, I think I was like 12, maybe 13, so I didn't really like understand. Hurts. And then one when I was like 16, because there was like there was a close aunt of mine, and that was like, how do I describe it? That went with like a lot of denial on my part, because oh god. Yeah, because she meant a lot to me, and it was kind of heartbreaking to have her pass away, because it was kind of abrupt, and like it was like a few months of fighting in the ICU because she had a stroke, but nobody really discovered it until it was really late. So anyway, I won't get into the story, but basically it was a hard time. And then the latest one was my grandmother. I was like, god, how old was I? 20, I think I was 20. Yeah, cause I'm pretty sure I was 20 or like 21. So yeah. And that one was, I guess overall, that one also hurt quite a bit, especially because I guess she was definitely, I mean, I knew her, how do I explain, because it was my mom's, it was my maternal grandmother, so my mom's mom, so I think I was like hurt more. I think that like hurt more, seeing how my mom was affected more than anything else. But yeah, so like the first two funerals I went through were both cremations, and the latest one, my grandmother's, was a burial. So it was interesting witnessing all of those. Anyway, but yeah, I think really what really struck me most about this game is like just how impersonal those big corporations in the death industry is. Like you see, like reading those emails later on, like how they're like, you can tell they're like, I don't know whether it's I mean I can only call it intentional, to be honest. Like how like you're just exploiting the emotional labor, or like the emotional state of like the grieving family and the grieving people, and like to make them pay more for services, which is honestly it's kind of gross. Just like knowing that kind of things happen, it feels really gross. I can only hope that it's better now. I mean, this game came out quite a while ago. I think a few years ago. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I can check, but it's like it definitely came out quite a while ago. It's not a recently released game. So I can only hope that. I mean, I just can only hope that like this game helps spread more awareness about this kind of things, so that maybe people will think more about how to deal with the burial and the funeral of their loved ones and stuff. In a more humane, respectful manner. I think one thing I can definitely I think one thing I definitely probably only liked about being that huge like cooperation is like the fact that they dealt with the homeless people and stuff like that. At least they get something, especially if it's like with a person who will pay respect at least to that person, even if there's no one else to remember them. But I mean, if you're in a large corporation, it's hard to find this kind of people sometimes, I think, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I think just the whole fact of just experiencing that whole words. But yeah, I think what really struck me most was just how impersonal large corporations can be, even especially in the industry, like this death industry where things are so personal and intimate. It really sucks. It just sucks a lot. And I mean, in the end, I guess, I mean, it is up to the person and the family what they want for the body, but I don't know, how do I put it? Like I know this game definitely is trying to advocate for like green funerals and stuff like that, which is definitely a good alternative and an option that should be considered. But at the same time, if the family wishes for such and such, it should definitely be taken into account as well. But I think being able to consider better alternatives is something people should try and embrace, I think. Because I mean, definitely, words again. It's definitely an eye opener, I think, to know that these alternative options exist, especially when the average person who just knows it from media and stuff like that, as they mentioned, is like you don't really know these options exist. So like understanding these options exist and these are options you can go for, I think is helpful. It's helpful in many ways, I think. What else do I have on my mind? I think that's really about it. Like, overall, I'm glad words, so many words. I think overall, I'm definitely glad I played this game, and I think and you know, it really is important. Like, this is kind of why I like games like this, and you know, I guess more indie games compared to more AAA titles. Most of the time, because I know there are definitely good AAA titles, but like these kind of indie games, they tap on this kind of like windows and views that, you know, AAA really don't get to do so as much, mainly because of like the scale and stuff. And like, I don't blame them, but you know, sometimes just under the window of the large corporation, it's kind of sad how all these other things get swept under the rug, or you know, get ignored, forgotten, etc., etc. It's a bit weird because last time I wasn't like really into indie games. I think it's more like I didn't really understand it. I kind of view indie games under the idea of, you know, oh, it's just mobile games, you know, like Angry Birds, etc., etc. This was like really early back in the day, but you know, I think now I definitely gain a much bigger appreciation for indie games and what they can do and what, you know, they can touch upon that larger corporations, larger games, etc. won't be able to do as well or as much as they can, which is kind of a shame, because you know, larger corporations would be able to reach out to a wider audience, I feel. But I guess because large corporations, you know, it's a giant business, they need to earn profits. So if it doesn't appeal to a wide audience, you'll lose income, etc., etc., which I get, and it kind of sucks. That's how it goes. And like, it also ties into a lot of my feelings about the game industry as a whole, which I probably shouldn't get into here. And it's kind of why I decided not to go into the game industry as much as I can, even though I studied game development for a couple of years. But yeah, again, that's like another story. Anyway, on to lighter topics. So next week we are going to play we're going to play the Timbleweed Park spin-off. So if you don't know, Timbleweed Park was like a point-and-click adventure game. I played it like sometime ago last year. Was it last year or was it earlier this year? No, it was last year, I think. Or was it earlier this year? I don't remember. No, I think it was last year. Yes, it was last year. Sometime around this time last year, actually. I think it was like September. But yeah, anyway, it was a point-and-click adventure game. It was like really funny, scuzzy, kind of a parody of X-Files. It was pretty fun. And like in May, I believe, like the developers released kind of like a little spin-off to it, which they made because they were like just fooling around. They were just, you know, messing around, and because because of the pandemic also affected them, you know, etc. So, but they released it for free, which was cool. So I kind of want to look into that because, you know, I've played Timbleweed Park on this channel. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. But yeah, basically, yeah, I'm gonna like look into that, something more lighthearted and fun, I guess, after this game. Then after that I'll probably be going to Darksiders Genesis after that game, but you know, I'll talk more about that next week. Anyway, nice, yes, indeed, it's nice. Anyway, so I won't dawdle on for this stream any longer. So thanks guys for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed this experience. It definitely resonated with me quite a bit more than I expected. I didn't expect to feel this emotional for this game, but I guess sometimes it just happens. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this, and I think I've spoken most of what I thought, and yeah, I'll put up the event for next week's stream after this, so feel free to have a reminder and all that jazz. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day, good week, stay safe, wash your hands, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next week for the Timberweed part, Timberweed Park spin-off. God, enunciation, that's my greatest enemy. Yeah, you stay safe as well, said Puppy. Alright, I won. What? Anyway, thanks guys. Hope you all stay safe. Alright, goodbye!